Hi everyone, it's Tom from MonTac here, and today we'll be checking out the top 10 tactical type monsters in the MonTac TCG game. Here we go. Number 10, Shining Beacon Vigilante Darius, Class 6, 1700 power, Tactical Fighter type. This is the Class 6 for the Vigilante archetype and is one of the few non-synergy monsters on this list. This card can bring out an enemy monster from their deck just to strip it of its specialty. This both disrupts the enemy strategy and takes out one of their best monsters, especially if the monster chosen is a Class 6. This card only makes number 10 on this list because it's harder to get out and is only a good card. This list is for the great cards, and there is a lot of competition in this category for the best. Number 9, the Operator, Class 1, 50 power, Tactical Fighter type. At first glance, this card looks incredibly weak with 50 power and it being a Class 1. However, once you look at its specialty and all the applications it has, this card becomes a terror in battle. By sacrificing 2 health points, it can send an enemy monster to the perish pile and gain that monster's original power. This means that if your enemy powers up one of their non-synergy monsters to make it incredibly strong, this card can one-shot it, taking out a threat and powering itself up. It's very easy to get out since it's Class 1. However, it makes you sacrifice 2 health points, which can be critical and may lose you the game. The specialty only works on non-synergy monsters, which greatly limits the targets for its specialty. For those reasons, this card is number 9 on this list. Number 8, Eclipse Trooper Nova Mistress, timer of 3, 2700 power, Tactical Fighter type. This card requires Eclipse Trooper, Pump Action Mistress, and Eclipse Trooper Gear Assailant to be in your perish pile in order to be played. The first synergy of this list, this card can play Eclipse Trooper tactical cards from your perish pile. All it costs is your enemy gains 2 health points each time. This specialty can be used during either player's turn, which makes it incredibly useful and versatile. It stays in play for 3 turns, which means you could get up to 3 Eclipse Trooper tacticals back from the perish pile. The reason this card is only number 8 is that it gives your enemy health points. In a game that is all about health points, this is a risky trade-off. Number 7, Eclipse Trooper Star Striker Mistress, Class 3, 2700 power, Tactical Fighter type. You might be wondering why a tactical card is on this list. However, this card can be played as a monster with a Tactical Fighter type. That is what we'll be looking at. This card has 2700 power and the specialty that during your turn you can discard its card to give it plus 1000 power, and you can bring back a Class 3 or below Eclipse Trooper from your perish pile. This makes this card effectively a 3700 power monster on its first turn, and you get a card back from your perish pile. What makes this card number 7 is that it's a permanent monster. It doesn't have a timer, and each turn it can rise by 1000 power. The downside of this card is that it requires you to sacrifice Eclipse Trooper, Pump Action Mistress in order to play it. So if the required card isn't available because it has perished, this card is practically useless. Number 6, Steel Edge Mechanized Level 3, Class 1, 2700 power, Tactical Dragon type. Another tactical that can be played as a monster, this card has 2700 power and the specialty that when it's in a conflict with a synergy monster, its power is doubled. Its power can't be taken or lowered, so the operator wouldn't be able to take its power. This card is easy to get out because it has the level 1 and level 2 mechanisms building towards it. This card is a powerhouse that buffs the Steel Edge deck back into being competitive. It's also great for non-Steel Edge deck as an extra option. This card only gets a power up and power steal protection, so it's not the best card for combos with other non-mechanized cards, and it's very easy to get rid of by using cards like Apocalypse Dragon Pharaoh Rex and the Operator. Still, a great card for sure and a must for Steel Edge players. Now we have number 5, Eclipse Trooper Elgor's the Ruthless, timer of 2, 3400 power, Tactical Fighter type. This card requires Eclipse Trooper Rebirth Gargoyle and Eclipse Trooper Raider Elgors to be in your perish pile in order to be played. This card is the enforcer of the Eclipse Trooper archetype, and that is because of its ability to rise above high power threats easily with its specialty. It selects an enemy monster, then for the rest of that turn it gets that monster's current power. Then that monster loses its specialty. This means that Elgors can bring down a full-powered Steel Edge Blitz Magnum, which can reach over 40,000 power. Elgors only lasts 2 turns and can only attack once in those turns, so his overall impact, while great, isn't likely to completely turn the tables in a game. Number 4. Barbarian Vigilante Barox. Timer of 4, 2100 power, Tactical Fighter Type. This card requires 2 Class 3 or higher Vigilante monsters to have perished in order to be played. This card is the powerhouse of the Vigilante archetype. It specially allows it to reach 16,800 in one turn. How this works is his specialty states that he can lower his timer up to 3 times, and for every time he loses a timer, his power is doubled. He starts at 2100, then 4200, then 8400, and finally 16,800. This means his power is incredibly hard to match, and since he's only lasting one turn on full power, he won't stick around long enough to have his specialty removed. Since when it's removed, his power would drop to 2100. Now while his power is incredible, he suffers the same issue Elgor's has. That is, that he can only last one turn to attack, and his impact isn't game-changing. Number 3. Null Factor Vigilante Darius. Timer of 2, 3100 power, Tactical Fighter Type. This card requires Shining Beacon Vigilante Darius and Vigilante Casualty to be in your Perish pile in order to be played. Now we hit the big time with the final 3. Darius has good power and decent timer of 2, however his specialty is game shattering. One moment you have multiple boss monsters in play, the next they all have their power become 0 and specially removed until the end of the game. This synergy has the specialty that it can remove the specialties of up to 4 monsters in play. This synchronizes with the Vigilante archetype as their sleeper skills require them to lose their specialties. Not only that, but all enemy monsters who lose their specialties have their power reduced to 0 until the end of the game. It also says they can't have their power raised by any tactical effect. This is one of the most unforgiving specialties that can decimate an enemy and completely flip the game on its head. What stops this card from being number 1 is that it only lasts 2 turns and can only use its specialty on your turn. Otherwise, it would make number 1 easily. Number 2. Life Gambler Wild Joker. Timer of 1, 0 power, Tactical Fighter Type. When 5 Life Gambler monsters are in your Perish pile, this card can be played. While at 0 power lasting 1 turn, it may seem like a bad card, but what makes it invaluable is that it can sacrifice itself to play any Perish monster with plus 500 power. Now why is this card number 2? Well, that's because it can bring a monster from your enemy's Perish pile to your side. This means that this card has incredible versatility and can bring back a crucial monster from either player's Perish piles. This can range from Apex monsters to cards like Medicine Angel Elizabeth to gain badly needed health points quickly. The plus 500 it gives also strengthens whatever you bring back. It's only number 2 because it's limited to what is in either player's Perish pile, and if played too early, it becomes incredibly average. Still, an awesome specialty that can turn things around at any moment. Number 1. Sentry Swordsman of the Dark Planet. Timer of 1, 4500 power, Tactical Fighter Type. This card requires 5 Tactical Fighter Type monsters to be in your Perish pile to be played. Here we go, the best tactical monster. This card's power is staggering by itself at 4500, which is strong enough to take down some Apex monsters. It only lasts 1 turn, but its specialty, if used right, can have lasting effects throughout the game. Its specialty states that on your enemy's next turn, every time they play a card, they lose a health point. This means that if you clear their board, they can't play any monsters on their next turn to defend themselves unless they want to risk losing multiple health points. This constricts your enemy's movements and allows you to dictate the pace of the match. With this card's high power, you can bring down boss monsters, then make them pay for protecting themselves on their next turn. This card is so incredibly strong that if it lasted more than 1 turn, it would be the first card to get banned in MonTac TCG history. A true asset, this card is a must for any tactical fighter deck. That was the MonTac TCG Top 10 Tactical Monsters in the game as of July 2020. Please subscribe and leave a like if you enjoyed the video. This has been Tom. Have a great day.